Hello everybody, this is Loki and welcome back to Phoenix Wright. We're gonna go ahead and continue from where we last left off. My Sid? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then she's still alive, inside your heart. Nicky boy. Oh, Mr. Light. Is it true that the detective is real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he is the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lurley Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atmey want to kill Tane Bullard? Oops, almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And that's gonna happen sooner rather than later. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atmey, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, sir lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acted so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand on your verdict just yet. Not when it will have given you your perfect alibi. The alibi by the name of Mask the Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atmey had no idea what you mean. Of course, I've been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I would know what's been going on in here. So you've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask the Mask. Indeed, it's only child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did this poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles from a divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask the Mask? Of course. Very well then, look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Tane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at the time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. Really? But don't worry. I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Atmey. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. I was still in the urn as Mask the Mask, just as announced I was. Than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contained no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. At the time which the camera captured Mask the Mask was the same time as the murder. It seemed the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else is up until now was part of his plan. There had to be a secret to the picture as well. Even the great Mask the Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you excuse me, I have a verdict for you. Now you're receiving your verdict here, buddy. You're receiving it here. Unfortunately, Mr. Atmey, we still have to do your cross-examination. You're not quite done here. A fool is too foolish to know why he is a fool. I think you're trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. True. So true. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. It was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lurley Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began the security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I say, you truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Huh? Detective Atmey was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lurley Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It's kinda odd. Yeah, you had the point. That's a good point. You have to do that again. I'll have to set this one. I bought the camera that took the photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp in the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lurley Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lurley Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I'd better find something else that should be suspicious. So this alibi is false? It has to be, or you couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is fake, or the photo itself is. It's true, it could be either one. So, by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lurley Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Tim Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? You bet my bottom there is. Excuse me. Are you implying that the picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's something strange about this picture. I took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. There's something in this photo that doesn't quite match my memory of that night. Very well then, let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph they find funny? This. This right here. The pretty part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood. Now this case is getting interesting. Whoopee! Not exactly. This stain is actually paint. Oh, just paint. A peach color of that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure looked Lord on his wild tangents. Problem with this photograph was not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. Turned out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright? What is supposed to be in this picture that's the paint stain? This thing here. Supervisor at the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be perfect size for covering up the paint stain. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night it took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, that statue should have been there.
Objection!
True. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed down there exactly. Accidentally. Something tells me he's not pushed there accidentally, sir. Your Honor, the statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Huh. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us a rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? True. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you're prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one who moved this young statue night of the crime? Atmey did. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atmey. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again, on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That's very indeed simple, however. Why I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? Reasons can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretend to be Mac the Mask to create an alibi by showing you where you were at Lorley Taylor that night. But the photograph contained a single fatal flaw. If that statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film in a drugstore. That's why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where this picture does a lie exist? Right here. In the timestamp. Naturally, the lie is in this photo at the timestamp. What do you mean? I tell you exactly what I mean. On the night of the question, Luke Atmey went to KB security and killed or murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious it would have been impossible for him to have been at Lorley Taylor at the time. But what does it have to do with moving the statue be moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atmey had already decided at the time he was going to kill the victim, and so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took the picture days before the murder took place. What in the... Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah, so on the day of the crime, Mr. Atmey must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atmey had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match the way it had been in his photo. Order! Order! Mr. Atmey, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What? That? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera didn't indeed go off the night of the crime.
Objection!
That's true, the camera had been set up by Lorley Taylor staff. However, the program to manage the data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Count up in a lie. Order, order! Mr. Goto, what's the meaning of this? Yeah, what's the meaning of this, sir? Goto, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. You're gonna get yourself fired here, buddy. My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during the trial. Which means I'm still good until the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got hit points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea, however. there's one point that can be denied, which is that is only a possibility. Men are trapped by chains of maybe. Can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way. I don't follow for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your action as Mask the Mask, there should be no problem with detailing us your strategy, so let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it, buddy. Let's hear it. Yes, please provide the turret with your testimony. And your plan to steal the sacred urn. I first received the request from Lurley Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in the box in Zavari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence why I was actually unable to see the urn for myself till the day of the crime. I knew it was extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hand for first time on 1 AM on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find out the hidden truth and the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavari, I guess that's yes. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Let's see here.
Objection!
Mr. Atmey, if you really are Mac the Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with the calling card? Allow me to read the passage from the calling card that the Mask had written. Take a good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled hair surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. That's true, but so what? The truth be told, there's no way that Mask the Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing other than paint stains. Paint stain? And these stains do not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lurley Taylor. I'm not finding this joke very funny, Mr. Wright. It's not a joke? The day the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that is when the pink paint got in the urn. You can't be serious. And yet the calling card clearly mentioned the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atmey had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. It made him spit out his coffee. And because the photo is fake, your alibi in the night of the murder no longer holds water. Let's see. Witness, do you have anything else to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think that's a little early for victory pose. Huh? Huh. It's so sad. No one has any convention these days. Convention. Yesterday, we all decided anonymously that this man was Mac the Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. He's like, which is it? Which one is it? You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. Please don't. You say look at me with the one who killed Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? Is his excellent point? Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive? Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest? Nick, he's gained his second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron DeLight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive to be seen is Ron DeLight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's clearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Oldtimer. They're going to do everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Let's give this a try, shall we? Luke Atmey had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent the Ron DeLight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. DeLight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake was quite as usual. The defendant truly believes he's Master Mask. That is why Mr. DeLight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant? This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirmed that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Blackmail letter updated? Very well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. Okay. I'll have to do the third statement.
Objection!
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atmey? Well, if it's just a few, then I guess it's alright. When you said this letter was addressed to Ron DeLight, I can't help but to notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where walking down the ditch and get like you kids off saying things like that. You're the one to talk. Times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Shows the contradiction benefit that the content of the blackmail letter. Newspaper clipping. Show this. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Amon's the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red. Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the pair of Emanon that the Master Mask stole at all.
Objection!
Your point is, Mr. Wright? So you're trying to say that the blackmail letter was intended for someone else? Is that what you're trying to say, right, Wright? Is that what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, is that what you're trying to say, right, Nick? They're all saying it all at once. Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atmey. He's getting sweaty. He's getting nervous. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single the math case, and in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel, the one on his finger. Probably the one wrapped around your finger. The red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Got him again. Order in the court. Order, I say.
Objection.
I lost count how many times he got his lobby. It seems like you're getting too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Wright. Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke Atmey? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contained the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. Just so what was that identity? Atmey killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is all, it all comes down to Nick. The identity that Luke Atmey wanted to keep so desperately keep secret was the identity was a blackmailer? Let's see if that's right, yep. Luke Atmey was a blackmailer.
Objection.
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke. Are you saying that Atmey was blackmailing someone else on top of that? You have to admit that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey. But Ron DeLight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. That's true. So did you start receiving blackmailers after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Terram heist. After that, you don't get much in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright. It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atmey was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't that Lordly Taylor at the night of the murder. That's right. That's why he was the one who killed Mr. But there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Really? Seriously? Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright? This is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atmey was at Bullard's office that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough. Mr. Wright, I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Atmey was at KB security, and I can't prove it. I can't prove it. Yeah, really, I can't prove it. At all. Just as I thought. But if you hear one more Detective Atmey's testimony...
Objection.
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Atmey is here, and after we interrupt his own trial, you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict at the mask. No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems like love wins out in the end after all. I'm ace detective as well as the mask. My verdict will verify that. just as Ron the Light will verify true murder. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is. Don't give up. Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence then. By then it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy. Should defendant be tried found innocent in court, the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. That's a fundamental rule of all courts, and applies to this witness as much as applies to everyone else. Mr. Atmey will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Mask the Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmey's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard murder. Really? And there's nothing I could possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, real killer Lou got me will go free. Yeah, cross-examine every statement the witness had made here today. And as long as there's no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare there will be no more further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Did I hereby end the cross-examination of Lou Atmey?
Objection!
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, is that what was on your report card every year? Had poor hearing and often make mistakes as a result? How did you... Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia is a true part of the trained channeling technique. I know it's really Maya who's standing there before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You cross-examined every statement the witness made here today. Yes, that's true, but... Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert the right to question him. Is that alright with you, prosecutor? Is there something the matter, Mr. Goto? Nothing. Oh, still, lawyer, it looks like you are one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Goto, what are you? Very well then, look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes. Indeed, it's true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another very important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had the photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was definitely clear that he was there. I was also able to make the deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button didn't have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints on it if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmailer? The victim likely just mistook the killer of the jewel. Savari. Therefore, the evidence points to that poor boy. Testimony actually seemed to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But, of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. I always look over all the documents at the elementary school, sir. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Atmey's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a second. One chance? Huh. It seems that the party is about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that that testimony. It would so seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out the contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. It's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. It seemed like the time had come to put an end to the trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is to find the candidate, remark, and repress it. Remember, you only get one chance. Yeah, we only get one chance at this. Very well done with the right. Please present your final class examination. I have to do it on the 9th statement. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mr. Atmey, how about this last remark?
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you? Try it. This isn't a time to be pressing the witness in every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Goto. What? Mr. Atmey, it seems like you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? He just outed himself? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atmey? The button didn't have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed, that's why I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever you do mean. For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Mask to Mask when he went to the crime scene? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sick cuff was looking at me with a cold stare. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell everyone else the fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who will know about this who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atmey? There's no way that you could have known about that. True. So true. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then enlighten us, how did you know about that piece of information?
Objection!
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
Objection!
And it's about those chances I want to discuss next. That night Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There's one and the only way for Detective Atmey to have found that out. One way, you say? Please recall Mr. Delight's testimony. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection!
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atmey.
Objection!
It's with that statement that I'd like to turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now if you turn that statement around, it's then the reason that the real killer also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Detective Atmey, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. It was the only way you could have known that what Ron was wearing. Oh god. Is John crazy? Take a good look, everyone. Unable to fight a rival worthy of my genius, I was first to grade one myself. Here I am, the Chacha Clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. He's going off as a rocker this time. One awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atmey tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape a true crime. And to that end, he came up with his plan to use double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. I came to personally close to whispering the record of an innocent young man. Whispering him with the cloud of murder. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict. I know. You never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but... I really am Master Mask. Huh? So, thanks to that child yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it that you said, double jeopardy? Now that you mention it. I've been careless. Careless? Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the double jeopardy is obsolete. As a defendant can never be tried twice for a crime which he was found innocent. Then, Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now? Now then, the defendant? Not guilty. Heck yes. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't going good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. He wanted to be guilty so bad, but he's not guilty. He did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, has it? Yeah, because Maya doesn't tell me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Peanuts. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems like kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of Shrine Village Challenge School? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Ah, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Light. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though. No, oh, come on, just be happy already. Maya, you've been cleared of the murder charges and off as the math to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming the Mask. I did it for one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by French robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became the Mask? Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine and Nick can prove it. I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. Okay, let's see. To do this, right? The secret urn. Desi was the one who found us. Desiree, your wife, she always believed in Iran. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. There you are. Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really the Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How can I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. Oh, I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crime before he committed them like a man. I just love a man who's so I think she's the type that appreciates honesty. I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Aw. You really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy? Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, Mr. Maya, congratulations. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you? Another math right in front of— oh no, you got it wrong! Nah! Oh, dang it! So just as the case came to a close, so did my attempt to this. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. Well, I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of that would put back together. Yeah, that would put that together. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button below. And subscribe for more videos to come. See you guys later. Bye guys.